0 to 60 can define a performance car, but it's the fastest 60 to 0 that's the aim of Tarok's brakes. From road cars to race cars, circuits, special stages, or the autostrada, nothing reduces speed like Tarok's brakes. Italy gave the world the art of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Tarok's has given drivers the art of stopping. For more information and to acquire your own masterpiece, visit taroks.co.uk. Yes, it's me, Mike Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver Podcast. It's the fastest, it's the friendliest, and it's for all the family. The Gas Shocks 116 Trophy and 120 Coupe Cup are the fastest growing race series in the UK, taking in 6 one-hour races and 8 sprints at all the top circuits. Visit 116trophy.com to find out more and get yourself behind the wheel. From a pot of tea to TT motorbikes. From a classic English breakfast to a full serving of classic cars. Bridge House Tea Rooms is the Northwest premier classic car meeting location for cars, bikes, tractors and owners clubs. So no matter what your automotive appetite might be, visit Bridge House Farm Tea Rooms on their Facebook page or call John and Alicia on 07980 444 221 for show details and to reserve your own table and parking space. Right, I'm back with Mike Wild here at Race Retro for part 2 of the Backseat Driver interview. Mike, welcome back.
Good to see you again.
Right, we finished at Watkins Glen.
Yes, so I had a problem at Watkins Glen with the ensign. Problems sadly followed me through my very short Formula 1 career. I lost the fuel pressure at the start, so I managed to get the car back round to the pits because the pressure relief valve had gone on the Cosworth V8 3-litre DFV engine. And by the time Mo Nunn had found another one, I'd lost about 8 or 9 laps.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to be classified, but I went out anyway. And during the race, I had a dice with Chris Amon, who was driving in the BRM B201. So the race finished. I'd actually travelled out to America with a good friend of mine. I'd made friends in 1971 in the European Formula Ford Championship with an Austrian called Helmut Koenig. And we travelled out there together, and sadly he was killed in the Surtees during the race. So I wasn't in the best frame of mind, but this portly gentleman came up to me and said, I'd not heard of you, Mr. Wilds, and you're dicing with my car and Chris Amon. Do you have a drive for next year, because Mr. Amon is leaving BRM? I said no. He said, well, would you come and see me in London at the Dorchester? Maybe we can talk about you driving for us in 1975.
Yep.
So I got back to the UK and got the details and phoned Mr. Stanley of BRM and went to the Dorchester, had a couple of meetings with him, quite a difficult man to deal with. Yes, he would want me to race for him that year, but he wouldn't pay me.
Yep.
And I said, well, my wife is pregnant, I have rent to pay, and this is my job. And he said, well, I pay you £500 per World Championship point, but expenses, but you have to find your own wages, which was very difficult. So I went back to Dempsey Developments and told them the position I was in, and they very kindly agreed, even though I was driving for BRM and they basically weren't getting anything out of it. They paid me a wage.
Right.
So I went and did a test at Snetterton in the P160, and which was a lovely little car to drive. Chris Amon drove the P201 all morning. He had to leave at lunchtime, so I drove the P201 during the afternoon. It was going quite well. until 2 rods came out the side of the block. So that put a stop to it. And he said not to worry, we have other engines, blah, 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 blah. I went home, went to the racing car show, and flew out to Argentina on the 7th of January, my birthday. Funny enough, with Susie Hunt, because James had asked me to be her travel companion because he was on a different flight. Got to Argentina, went to the circuit, looked at the car. It was the same engine that I'd blown up at Snetterton with the block welded up, which didn't fill me with confidence because, you know, you're revving this thing to 12,500 RPM. It's putting a lot of stress through the block. Sometimes the welds can help a block be stronger, but I wasn't very positive about it. And I was proved right because the engine had little or no power. It felt as though it had 300 horsepower, not 500 horsepower. And during the race, again, it went pop, and I didn't finish. So we then went to Brazil, put the spare engine in, and didn't finish that either. So came back to the UK, summoned by Mr. Stanley to the Dorchester, where he said it was all my fault, and it's you that's not competitive, my car is really fast, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm sorry, I totally disagree. It's not, it doesn't have enough power, and it is totally unreliable. In my opinion.
Well, the other problem is if you're racing a car that isn't reliable or that you're convinced is going to go bang on you, it takes your mind away from what you should be doing because you're just waiting for it to do something.
Yeah, but I did try hard. If you look at some of the pictures of me driving in those races, I'm absolutely on it in the corners, but I was just too slow to the next corner. So we disagreed. I said the way forward would be to go and buy a DFE, put it in the back of the P201 to get some reliability and do some races with it, because to be honest, with that one engine you could probably finish the season, they're so reliable. So he went bananas and sacked me on the spot. So that was the end of my association with BRM, and sadly I couldn't get another drive in Formula One, so that my Formula One career was very short.
Well, the one thing you are known for is sports cars. I would say you're probably better known for sports cars than anything else.
Yeah. Well, I did a lot of prototype racing, Group C, and then Thunder Sports and so on. But one of my all-time favourite races was the Le Mans 24-hour race. I love that.
Well, it's a race. I mean, it's often regarded as the greatest race in the world, and as far as I personally am concerned, it is the greatest race in the world. There's nothing else comes close to it.
Especially in Group C. When there were no chicanes, you're sitting at 240 miles an hour in the dry, in the rain, in the heat, in the cold. It's just awesome. I mean, absolutely awesome. Where on earth, on this earth, can you just sit there in a car at 240 miles an hour for 3.5 miles with a kink 2/3 of the way down? Just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I loved it.
And it's also the one opportunity the driver gets to check his clocks, have a quick glance at the clocks and dials, and make sure everything's all right.
And have a relax and take a few breaths and calm down, really.
So, when you started in sports cars, what did you start with?
It was basically because of Ray Mallock. Ray Mallock, I tell a lie. 1981 it started. I was working within the sport. I'd actually joined the BRSCC to help with their competition side, and was still scrounging drives where I could. And I made friends with a man called Jan Lundgaard, and he had a Porsche 935 Kramer car, but it was the baby 935, which had a very powerful sort of 1.5 litre engine, 1.4. engine, and I did Silverstone 1000 Ks with him in that, and we went to Le Mans in 1981 for my first experience. That was in the Porsche. Then the following year I went with a Lola, which was converted into a form of Group C car. Again, sadly, those 2 races I didn't finish. Then I had a call from Ray Mallock saying he was being involved in designing a car for Ecurie Cos, and they were coming back. They hadn't done anything since the Jaguar D-types back in the 50s. And asked if I would like to join and be probably the most experienced of the drivers they were going to get. So I agreed, and that was my start of 4 years of racing for Ecurie Cos.
And was it a successful period?
It was. I saw Ray Mallock here at Race Retro today, and we were reminiscing. We had the best time. There were no egos involved. We all wanted to achieve a result for the team, so therefore we went to great lengths at drivers' briefings to say, right, this is the lap times we're going to do, plan the whole thing, and the drivers just worked perfectly together. Ray Mallock, myself, and David Leslie, absolutely first class. So we came second at Monza in our first 1000k race in 1984. We would have won, but sadly in our first stint the lads forgot to weaken the mixture on the metering unit, and we used more fuel than we should have done, so the rest of the race we were conserving fuel, and we finished second, so that was fine. Then we went to Le Mans, and it was just amazing. We couldn't test the car at top speed in the UK. We could do about 180 miles an hour at Silverstone down towards Copse, towards Stowe. So when we got there, Ray said, look, you're the most experienced, will you go out, shake the car down, do an installation lap, then go out and just see how she goes. He was very good. Ray's a brilliant engineer. He said with the tyre growth we should be pulling 200 miles an hour at 8,000 RPM with the tyre growth. So installation lap, everything was fine, off you go. So I went out and went through Tete Rouge and just let the car have its head. Maximum RPM in all the gears, going past the restaurant, 7.8, 7.9, 8,000. Well, it's the first time that I'd done 200 miles an hour. But then it was 8.1, 8.2, and the car topped out at 217 miles an hour for a little Group C2 car. Was incredible. And it was stable as anything. I could take my hands off the steering wheel. It was beautiful. I came down towards the kink, 217 miles an hour, when there was a mighty bang, and sort of got my attention. The car filled with dust. There was an unbelievable noise, and I thought, if I can't touch anything, because if it spears off, it's going to kill me. So I just let the car run, and as it started to slow down, I checked the brakes, the steering, and by this time the dust had cleared. And I looked to my right, and the whole side of the car had gone. It had burst like a balloon. So I drove it back around slowly to the pits, and the guys were brilliant. They repaired the car, and they drilled holes in both side windows to relieve the pressure.
So I was going to say, I concluded it was a pressure related.
It was absolutely. It was just totally pressurising the inside of the car, and it burst like a balloon. And it did worry me. When it went back. And we never had a problem after that. And she just was a wonderful car. We were leading Group C2 by several laps.
Yeah.
When sadly we had, I think it was the year we had a tyre failure which smashed as the tyre was flailing round. When it goes bang at 200, the tyre disintegrates and it smashed the radiators, which were just in front of the rear tyres. So again, we were out of the race. And that happened in 84, 85, 86 and 87. I didn't finish Le Mans for Curios. However, in 1986, we were running Cosworth V8s in 84 and 85. We needed to get a works involvement. So we spoke to Austin Rover and they gave us some 6R4 rally engines to put in the car. We got Swindon race engines to make them into an endurance car race engine, and we won the World Championship with that V6 engine, beating all the Cosworth cars. So that's the only World Championship I've been involved in that I've won. I've won 12 little British championships in sports cars and touring cars, but I left Curios at the end of 1987 because they were going on to do other things with other drivers, sadly. And I signed to drive for Nissan in 1988 and drove possibly the worst racing car I've ever driven in my life, but finished Le Mans, which was great, but it was tinged, sadly. I was in the car with half an hour to go. I was driving with Wyn Percy and Alan Grice, an Australian Super V8 driver, fabulous guy, very, very fast. I was going down the Mulsanne Straight, the car's dying because all the wheel bearings had gone, and but the engine was still pulling and she was still doing 240 miles an hour. And they said, you have to box this lap. And I thought, well, everything looks okay, instrument-wise. And they said, box this. And well, they're paying me quite a lot of money to be professional. Came into the pit lane, they said, get out of the car. I got out of the car, and there was a Japanese driver there who hadn't sat in the car all week, and they put him in to do the last half hour. So a Japanese driver finished Le Mans in that car.
In a Japanese car?
Yeah. A fourth driver, which was totally illegal. But we didn't get disqualified for some reason. But I went ballistic because we'd worked so hard for those 24 hours to get to that point. We were actually running very well, but we lost about 40 minutes in the middle of the night with a gearbox failure. So we dropped to 33rd and we brought the car back to 14th, I think. So it was a bit of a kick in the teeth. But it is what it is. You're only an employee, and when they tell you to do things, you do it. But I did sadly voice my opinion, and so I didn't drive for Nissan again.
Oh, you suffer from what I suffer from. I have a habit of commenting, which tends to have a negative effect at times.
So that was the end of my Group C time, sadly. So I was back to scrounging drives again in the late 80s, and I started to concentrate on historic racing and brick car.
Because I mean, one thing you are known for, and it is on the cover of your autobiography, Life on the Wild Side, is the Porsche 956 and the 962s. I mean, I can remember sitting in the grandstands at Silverstone and watching the Rothmans cars. Apart from the fact, for the first few laps of the first hour, the Martini Lanciers ran away with it, but everybody knew they'd break down, which they did. But these Porsches in the 80s were steamrollers. Nothing could come close to them.
No, they are amazing. It is probably the best racing car I've ever driven. That mark of car, the 956 and the 962. I'm so lucky that for the last 2 years I've driven for a German collector called Rainer Becker, who owns the Mario Andretti Kenwood 956.
I mean, that image is on the cover of your book, and it is. You always say it's your favourite photograph. It's a magnificent image.
And that car, I'm going into Indianapolis at Le Mans last year in 2022, and I don't know. I'm doing 160 miles an hour,
Yeah.
and he stopped it dead.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is I'm heading west when I was going down towards Indianapolis, so the sun hadn't quite disappeared, so it's just illuminated the cockpit.
Yeah.
I just think it's an awesome picture.
What is it about that particular Porsche that you like? I mean, okay, there was the famous 917, which won nearly everything, but was considered a slightly dangerous car to drive.
It was, because it was a little space frame car,
Yeah.
and your feet had no protection.
Because the driver's feet were in front of the
Yes.
front wheels, weren't
Yes.
they?
Well, the same with the 956
Yeah.
that I was racing over the last couple of years. The 962, the only difference is that you sit further back with your feet a little more protected
Yeah.
behind the centre line of the front wheels. The thing I like about them is their reliability,
Yeah.
their speed, and on their day, that car, particularly in 1983, if you put a Formula One car around Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, it will do a time.
Yeah.
I guarantee that car would beat it. Guarantee. Because they were faster than Formula One cars, because we had more power.
Yeah.
We had ground effect, which they didn't have, and it had synchromesh on the gearbox, which was unheard of, but it was purely to look after the gearbox for
Yeah.
Le Mans. So they were unbelievably hot inside.
Yeah.
55, 60 degrees C. As you can see on the cover of my book, I'm red-faced because it's very hot in there.
So it's not a suntan then.
And I admire current racing drivers doing LMP races and doing Le Mans, but they have power steering,
Yeah.
they have flappy paddles, they have air conditioning. They don't know they're born.
And they have computers that look after all sorts of things for them.
I mean, we were
Without being rude, the only thing they have to really do is steer the damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was quite hard work.
Yeah.
In a stint, in one of those at Le Mans, I could lose, in 1 2-hour stint, I could lose 10 pounds in weight.
Yeah.
Just because of the perspiration. And then you have 2 or 4 hours, depending if you have 2 or 3 drivers, you have 2 or 4 hours to totally recover to go and do it again.
Yeah.
And then do it again. So you're putting together one after another, driving Grand Prix distances.
Yeah. Each
through
time.
24 hours, yeah.
So what do you do now? I mean, I know you have a passion for your classic cars because you have your E-Type.
Yeah.
You sold your beloved Porsche
I did.
Carrera.
Yeah.
But what does Mike Wilds now do? Because I mean, I conclude you don't teach helicopter pilotage anymore.
No, I have a passion for aviation.
Yeah.
And I did 8,000 hours of helicopter flying and helicopter instruction. I bought and sold helicopters.
Yeah.
I'm 77 now. I still want to race motor cars, historic motor cars, but I still enjoy instructing.
Yeah.
So the majority of my work time now is teaching, trying to pass on my experience to youngsters or anybody with Porsches or Ferraris or any kind of performance car who want to learn how to drive them quickly but safely.
Yeah.
So I enjoy doing that. I enjoy teaching in helicopters. I enjoy that imparting knowledge and experience into people and then seeing them like sending somebody solo in a helicopter.
Yeah.
You know that the only reason they're flying that helicopter on their own is because of everything that you've put into them to achieve that, and they do it safely. It's such a satisfying thing to do.
Yeah.
So I enjoy teaching people to drive. I don't teach people to fly anymore, purely because at my age now, I don't want to work that hard. I still have a Porsche Spider, which I absolutely adore. It's probably one of the best Porsches I've ever driven, road cars. It puts a smile on my face. So, yes, I still work. I still go and instruct. I love driving my E-Type. I love the fact that I have to double the clutch. It's going back to 1960s driving.
It's how cars used to be driven, and in many ways how cars should still be driven.
Yeah, it has character. And I did a Porsche Carrera Cup race some years ago. The car was unbelievably fast.
Yeah.
But did it have any character? No, it was an incredible car. But it didn't talk to me. I love a car that will talk to me.
Yeah.
I like to know when I've locked a front wheel, not a computer in the car telling me, so it puts a light on the dashboard, you've just locked a front wheel. The brake pedal was dead, unbelievably fast, as I say, but no character.
Yeah.
So that's why I concentrate now on driving C-Type Jaguars and Porsche 956s and RSRs or whatever people will let me drive, because I can use what little skill I have. It talks to me, I tell the car what to do, and we get on. And it's a very enjoyable thing to do.
Of all the cars you've driven, which would you say is the favourite? I mean, it's looking like it could be a Porsche.
I have a passion for Porsche, which is fairly obvious, but if push comes to shove, if you say what's the best racing car you've ever driven, I won a race at Alton Park, which was just a one-off race called the British Open. So you could have Formula 1 cars, you could have Formula 2, Formula 5000, whatever single-seater you wanted. It was like a super Formula Libre race, if you like. And I drove an ex-Alan Jones Williams FW07C around a 65-lap race at Alton Park. I got pole position, I won the race, I got fastest lap. Probably in one of the best racing cars ever made. Yeah. Because Formula 1 is the pinnacle. Yes, the Porsche is wonderful, but there's something about a single-seater. Yeah. A quick single-seater, very quick one.
And it's one question I ask all, or many of my guests especially, and don't take this wrong, the older ones. What is your opinion of modern motor racing and modern drivers? Because it's changed a lot, and they all seem to start racing at about the tender age of 2 years, 3 months.
Yes, I'm afraid I have a beef. If I was racing against you, Mark, in Formula 5000 in 1974, we were in cars that were dangerous. Yeah. We had no runoff areas in those days, so if you put a wheel off, you were basically into an earth bank or a bank that was lined with railway sleepers or catch fencing. So I would race against you, but I wouldn't want to put you in harm's way. Yeah. So I would have respect for you. And there seemed to be...
I just think that's something a lot of the older drivers all say to about each other. They understood how their competitor raced, and they had respect to make sure it was close racing, but not dangerous close racing.
You wouldn't lunge anybody. No. Lunging seems to be the thing to overtake people now. So you lunge them, if you touch them, tough, they go off on the runoff areas, and they come back on, and it's... I dislike it. I gave racing room to people. People gave me racing room. Yeah. We knew that if we didn't, we could hurt them.
The end results could at times be fatal if you weren't careful.
Exactly.
I mean, technically they are today. They could be today, but they're in cars, etc., that will withstand far more.
It's a different world. So that's my biggest beef, is the lack of respect. I still love watching motor racing, whatever it is, Formula 1, even with it's technically brilliant, but it's only good motor racing to me is if it rains, or if there's something that allows the driver skill to come out, because the lads at the back, if they're not in a Ferrari or a Red Bull or Mercedes, it gives them a chance to use their ability in the wet. So I just love motor racing. Yes, it's different. It's a different world. I'm an old school guy, so I think I was racing in the best eras. but probably guys who were in the 1950s think that was the best era and so on. So it's just different. I still love my motor racing. I still watch motor racing, but I don't want to drive modern cars. I want to drive older cars.
Is there a car, or what is the car that you would love to have driven but didn't?
A 917. I would love to have driven a 917. I had a wish list of cars, included 250F Maseratis, Ferrari 512 LMs, Golf GT40s, what else? Williams FW07.
Yeah.
And I've driven all of those. The only one on my bucket list that I've not managed to drive is a 917. I've driven a replica, and it was great, but it wasn't.
It's still not the real deal, is it?
No.
Do you think somebody will let you loose in one?
Probably not. Probably not. I've been doing some talks with BRM today and at Race Retro, and they've got the 1.5 litre 16-cylinder supercharged F1 car there. I'd love to drive it just to be in control of the noise of that thing and drive it. I would never be presumptuous enough to ask BRM to drive it, and I'm sure they'll never
ask you.
But that's a car I would love to have driven.
Yeah,
as well.
Mike Wiles, author of Life on the Wild Side, my half-century plus as a professional racing driver by Mike Wiles, published by Guy Loveridge. We have to get that in for him. He's flashing his headlights. He's absolutely happy and delighted. But Mike Wiles, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having joined me on The Backseat Driver.
Thank you for asking me. Great to see you, Mark.
Rarely beaten on price, never beaten on service. Whether it's cars, bikes or commercials, Hodder Tyres are the best in the business. And when it comes to tyre expertise and advice to supplying the correct tyres for your vehicle's specific requirements, nobody comes close to David Lakin and the Hodder Tyres team. So give them a call on 01200 613 192 or visit the website at hoddertyres.co.uk.